Help me reach 1,000 subscribe. The story I'm about to tell you is one you'll want to hear to the very end. Let me explain how a single toast at a packed celebration nearly blew my entire life apart. The evening began like any other social event. Warm lighting, mellow music, people chatting and laughing in every corner. I arrived with my wife, Hannah, her fingers wrapped around mine a bit tighter than usual. At first I didn't think much of it. We had hosted countless parties just like this. But that night the atmosphere felt heavy, like the room was filled with a secret everyone knew except me. I tried to brush off the tension as I mingled. People asked the usual questions: work, home, marriage. I answered politely, but my attention kept drifting back to Hannah. She was moving through the crowd differently, almost gliding, overly cheerful, laughing too loudly, touching arms, giving quick, strange little glances. And every time someone spoke to her, she looked at me with a spark in her eyes that felt off, like I was missing something huge. Maybe she was just in a good mood, I told myself. Maybe she needed this night more than I did. But then the moment came. Someone tapped their glass, signaling for silence. The chatter faded. I looked over and saw Hannah standing in the middle of the room, raising her champagne like she had just won a medal. People turned toward her, expecting a simple toast. Maybe a joke, maybe a thank you. That's all I expected too. Instead, she lifted her glass, locked eyes with me, and announced clearly, "Everyone, I have some news. Daniel is going to be a father." Applause exploded instantly. Cheers, hugs, people rushing toward me in excitement. But I couldn't move. I stood frozen, my heart pounding because there was only one problem. Hannah and I hadn't been intimate in months. Her smile was too polished, too staged. And while everyone celebrated around me, I stared at a woman who suddenly felt like a complete stranger. Something was horribly, horribly wrong. Even after the clapping stopped, my ears rang. People kept congratulating me, telling me how my life was about to change. I faked a smile for each of them, but inside my world was crumbling. When Hannah finally came over, she put her arms around me and whispered, "Surprised." Surprise didn't even come close. Shocked, confused, cornered. Those were better. I pulled back and muttered, "Hannah, what are you talking about?" But she didn't answer. She just kissed my cheek and kept smiling like nothing was unusual. Like she hadn't just announced a pregnancy I knew absolutely nothing about. I wanted to drag her outside and demand an explanation, but there were too many people watching. I had to swallow my questions. Hours crawled by, fake laughter, fake smiles, fake congratulations. And the more I observed her, the clearer it became. Something was terribly off. She avoided my eyes, kept checking her phone, whispering to her friend Mia over and over. And every time she did, Mia shot nervous, guilty glances toward me. That's when fear, not doubt, not suspicion, real fear settled into my bones. When the crowd thinned out, I cornered Mia by the drink table. She looked like she'd been caught stealing. "Mia," I said quietly, "I need the truth. What did Hannah tell you?" She froze. Her gaze bounced around the room. "Daniel, please talk to Hannah." "I shouldn't." "Is she really pregnant?" I pressed. Her silence told me everything. I left the party without saying goodbye. The car ride home was suffocating. Streetlights streaked across the dashboard while Hannah stared out the window, still smiling faintly as if nothing had happened. But I could feel the distance growing between us like a wall I couldn't break through. As soon as we got inside, I couldn't hold back anymore. "Hannah," I said tightly, "are you actually pregnant?" Her smile faltered. For the first time the entire night, she looked unsure. "Well, not exactly." My stomach dropped. "What does that mean?" She twisted her hands and murmured, "It's complicated. I just wanted to see everyone's reaction. I thought it would be fun. I didn't think it would go this far." Fun. She had announced something life-altering to our family, friends, and co-workers. For fun. My head spun with every memory of people hugging me, congratulating me, believing something that wasn't true. "This isn't a joke, Hannah," I said, anger cracking through my voice. "You embarrassed me in front of everyone. You didn't even think about how I'd feel." Tears filled her eyes, but her voice stayed soft, almost pleading. "I just wanted to see your reaction." "Reaction?" I repeated. "Everyone thinks I'm going to be a dad, and I'm the only one who didn't know the truth. That's not a reaction, that's betrayal." I breathed deeply, trying not to explode. "I love you," I said, "but trust? You shattered it tonight. And I need space. You crossed a line I can't ignore." She nodded slowly, tears slipping down her face as the weight of her actions finally hit her. The silence between us felt heavier than the cheers from earlier. And in that quiet, one truth became painfully clear. A relationship isn't held together by happy moments. It survives because of trust, respect, and honesty. And when those crumble, even the loudest celebration can't drown out the echo of betrayal.